Sounds good. Welcome, Realm family, to another episode of Wrestling with the Realm podcast. I'm Brian, one half of the Power and Glory of Wrestling podcast, and on the other side, he is the Hercules to my Paul Roma. He's my guy, Will. Will, what are we talking about?
Guys, we are talking some WWE Backlash. We have another review coming at you guys.
Oh
But
yeah.
before we get into that, guys, like and subscribe, drop a follow, drop a like on the video, and also go back, like all of our shorts. And if you haven't checked out our latest review of WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
go check that out because it's going to give you a lot of context of what's happening here
Yeah.
at Backlash.
At Backlash, we're going to give each match a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then we're going to say whether we would watch the match again or not. And then at the end of the pay-per-view, so we'll tally up all the thumbs up and thumbs down, and that'll show definitively if Will and I think that this pay-per-view is a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and if we'd watch it again.
All right, Brian, let's head into our first match of the night,
At
which is
Backlash.
at Backlash, which is shockingly a pretty controversial match for it being the opener. We have Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. I'm gonna say it, and I think I am. It's a very polarizing match. We had Seth Rollins probably win our Shockmaster moment of the night
Yeah, it was.
with him just falling over on the pedigree counter that he went for. I have my opinions on that, but let's talk a little bit more about the match before we get to that. I thought that this was a fine match. I know WWE fans and wrestling fans in general, when you have 1 to 2 botches in a match like we did in this one, it's hard for fans to still take the whole match and be able to digest it and say that was a good match because, man, I'm seeing a lot of Seth Rollins hate
Hmm.
online, mostly from the AEW fans who are putting side by side clips of him and Will Ospreay trying to go for the same move. First of all, I hate to mark out on everybody. I'm just a Seth Rollins fan, so I got to defend the boy. He went for the same exact counter on Gunther and was successful a month earlier at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
So let's chill out, everybody. And yes, did he botch the reversal of the Breakensteiner to the point where they had to set it up multiple times? And then when
Mhm.
he did get the flip off, he still fell over? Yes. But you want to know what? Seth Rollins is how old?
Mhm.
This is his second match in 7 months. Let's give him a little bit of a break here. He has not been wrestling super consistently. I
Hey, if you want to have a kayfabe reason why, he was just getting ass beat by Braun
Yeah,
Breaker throughout the whole match, and he's not going to be 100% powered up
no.
as the match goes on. And like you said, he's been out of action, so in a kayfabe way,
Yes.
you can make that work if that helps you, but.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be too hard on him, but I won't show my hand. Sorry, Will. Keep going. Proceed.
No. Exactly. And you have the inevitable happen because we are building up in the storyline that Seth Rollins needs help and the Street Profits also need help. So we are working towards some, multi-person tag match, I believe. But Seth Rollins gets overpowered by the numbers game. Logan Paul and Austin Theory come out. He beats him up, but it inevitably leads to a spear by Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker picks up a much needed win, I would say. I know we
Mhm.
might be working. This is obviously not the end of this. We're working towards maybe a trilogy of matches, is what the rumor is. I think that Braun should have won this match. There is a lot of people saying Seth needed a win here after losing to Gunther, but guys, Seth is a super established star, and Braun Breaker's momentum is being overtaken by Obafemi on Monday Night Raw. Braun Breaker was on this ginormous uptick before his injury,
Mhm.
and sometimes you just get injured at the wrong time in professional wrestling because as he got injured on that road to WrestleMania, they brought in Obafemi, and it feels like that star power is just being taken from Braun, and that path to becoming world champion is taken from Braun and now kind of strapped onto Obafemi. Not
Mhm.
saying that, they're obviously both future WrestleMania main eventers. Probably will see each other in a WrestleMania main event at some point. But it was a much needed win for Braun Breaker. Is this match a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I'm probably gonna go thumbs down. I don't
Ooh.
know. It wasn't bad and it wasn't great. I don't know. It's our own rating system. Can I put a thumb in the middle?
Nope. No thumbs in
Oh,
the middle,
no,
Will.
okay, no thumbs in
Nope.
the middle. Then I gotta go thumbs down.
That's
And that
it. That's
obviously
the way the game is
means,
played.
and that obviously means, you know, I'm not gonna watch this match again. Brian, what are your thoughts on this match?
All right. I want to make sure I get Will's information recorded properly in the trusty WWR notes notebook.
Yes, sir.
Because we're keeping it scientific, folks. If you guys weren't here for our WrestleMania review, go check that out, like Will said, because it's our first implementation of our new review system. So, that being said, watching this match, it felt so uneven to me because I feel like this storyline with these two guys has been going forever and hasn't actually had any uh, proper build off or blow off at all for this rivalry. And I get it, there's injuries and all of that, but it's still true though that it feels like we've been stretching this thing out for a very, very long time. And finally having these guys get in the ring to have this match, you inevitably get the run in and the interference, like you said. We're clearly building to something with the Street Profits and Seth Rollins trying to get somebody on his side. I thought the match was a decent match. I got the story that they're trying to tell and trying to continue. But then again, it was sloppy though. And if I'm being honest, I got to keep it 100. If that was Ricochet if Ricochet was in there, does anybody give a thumbs up to any of his crap? I
Say
mean,
maybe Dave Meltzer, but
oh
like
yeah,
you
well,
said earlier,
yeah, Dave Meltzer.
yeah, gotta get it in.
Um, but all of that being said, I'm gonna give this match a thumbs down. And I hate it because I go, this match might be important down the road in this whole rivalry that's going on between these two. But so I go, maybe there'd be a point in watching it again. It might be important later. But I'm not watching this again. Thumbs down, not watching it again.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate because you had two very talented people not give their best outing, I would say.
Yeah.
They are definitely in need of building some in-ring chemistry and hope we get this match again because obviously when you have two names like Seth Rollins and Braun
Hmm.
Breaker, you expect greatness and we just didn't get it this time through. So, positive note, we got more wrestling
Yep.
pay-per-view. And that kind of stands out, I believe, in our next match. We have the United States Championship rematch between the champion Trick Williams versus the challenger Sami Zayn. And I enjoyed this match more than their WrestleMania match. I will show my hand
Mm.
right away. And that's because you give these two more time to wrestle, they are able to build up more in-ring storytelling. So that's the important thing is you had Sami Zayn able to show these heel characteristics that he has been at this point. Feels like Sammy's a full-blown heel after this
Yeah.
match. Obviously, we haven't had a SmackDown since, but he faked a knee injury in this match to set up a kendo stick shot to Trick
Yes.
Williams. Like, Sammy is full blown heel, everyone. And it shows the desperation for him to win a championship. And I feel like this Sami Zayn is probably the most interesting version of Sammy we've had since the Bloodline because of that.
Hmm.
It is just the ultimate desperation to get back his US title. And this is the Sammy I'd like to see in the main event scene. a Sammy that feuds versus a Cody Rhodes after he's done feuding with Gunther. Although eventually we'll get to a topics video, guys,
Yes.
hopefully before Clash at Paris, and we can talk if Cody's even going to make it out of that feud. But that being said, that's a compelling enough Sammy. He can go back to the main event and it doesn't feel forced down our throats. So, that being said, another reason I like this match, man, Little Yachty is money.
Yes.
He's just so good. He's always getting physical in his matches, so he doesn't just feel like a celebrity out there. He has good selling of the haluva kick. I'll admit
Yes.
it. Like he has taken that move so many times, he's actually selling it well. And the inevitable happens, even though it was predictable. These three actually made this, feud and match entertaining. You had Trick Williams get some assistance from Lil Yachty,
Hmm.
and he is able to pick up the win, which is still kind of like weird heel characteristics. But I think Trick Williams is just he's heel nor face. He's just that ultimate tweener with a tweener as a manager, and
Yep.
it doesn't matter. They're just gonna do whatever it takes to win. This match is a thumbs up, and I would watch it again.
Hey.
You give these two time to wrestle, it's a good match. Lil Yachty's money. Brian, what are your thoughts on this?
That's good. You got a lot of good stuff, Will, because you're thinking same as me. Um, well, we're big Trick Williams fans, and it's smart to change up Sammy, like you said, just work him heel now. We said this recently as the past year had been progressing, the little engine that could underdog Sami Zayn shtick was starting to wear thin. You could
Yes.
only have so many aw shucks moments before it doesn't mean anything anymore. So he needed a change to his character. Um, I think that this was a good change. I think that it works in the context of the story, with Trick being this young newcomer who's immediately over and doesn't have a whole lot of respect for somebody like Sami Zayn or any legends or anybody for that matter, but also backs it up. So there's an element of jealousy, that goes into this Sami Zayn, Trick Williams story, and I think Sammy plays that really well. I think you're right about Trick. He's not a true blue baby face like Cody, although Cody's wiping Randy's blood on his chest and giving low blows and walking away just baby faced as can be. So I guess Trick can be, but I feel like Trick operates more in that realm of like a Stone Cold that we talk about sometimes,
Yeah.
where he really isn't one or the other. Even when you think about Dom, Dom isn't in that position because Dom is just such a heel. We love to hate him, but he doesn't skirt that line. Trick does it exceptionally well. The Mouth of the South, Lil Yachty, uh, or if you want to call him New Age Jimmy Hart, whatever works for you guys.
Love
He
it.
is the new version of Jimmy Hart for Trick Williams, and I love that. That makes me so happy as an old school wrestling fan. I don't know if they've thought it. I don't know if they've realized it, if it's a little bit of inspiration, but that's what's making Lil Yachty so good and works so well as a celebrity in this because he's almost taking a pay. I mean, Jimmy Hart's not delivering a haluva kick, um, but he'll get in that blowhorn. I'll get in that blowhorn, baby. That's right. Hulk Hogan, American made, number one. I started turning him into Jim Cornette there towards the end. Yeah. I love that Lil Yachty plays this Jimmy Hart role, and it's great. Um, it's pitch perfect. Everything works great with Trick. Him and Sammy are working particularly well together. Uh, it was great. I had a lot of fun with it. I give the match a big thumbs up, but I'm not going to watch it again. There's nothing about it at this pay-per-view that made me go, boy, I got to watch that match again. So, unfortunately, not going to watch it again, but a really good match. Thumbs up. One more thing I wanted to say about Trick. Trick is making this US title mean something.
Yes.
And I don't mean that to be disrespectful to Sammy when he was doing the open challenge and stuff like John Cena and all of that.
Hmm.
I think they wanted that to make it mean something. it was fun because we got to see the open challenge, but I don't know if it made that title feel any more important. I think right now this US championship is hot and it feels important because of Trick Williams. Um, it's almost like Becky Lynch having the women's IC championship. The character and the presence that she has, it gives credibility to that championship. And with Trick, I think it's the same thing. All of a sudden I go, that belt is it's something that you want because Trick has it. So I tip my hat, Trick Williams. Good job.
Yes, that's a really strong point, actually. Like, I do feel the same way
Yeah.
about this. Like, it was good to see Sammy bring good professional wrestling to Friday Night SmackDown when he was doing the Open Challenge. Same with Ilya Dragunov and
Yep.
Carmelo. Like, it was good, but Trick is a special talent. I know we
Yeah.
were talking about Braun and Oba, but Trick and Javon, like those four, really feel like the future of the company
Yeah.
when you're talking about the men's side. So,
Yeah.
great point, Brian. I also know you're probably extremely excited to talk about our next match.
Liv
We
Morgan's on this show.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
but just as good because I know you are a big fan, Hausen.
Ah, yes, a Fanhausen. This is true.
And we have Danhausen and his mystery tag team partner taking
Ah,
on
Mystery
The
Hausen.
Miz and Kit Wilson.
Kip.
I want to give a big shout out to The Miz and Kit Wilson for actually getting some TV time on a PLE. That it made me happy. The Miz
Yeah.
is such a vet that like I mean, I'm sure he's extremely well taken care of
Yes.
in the WWE. And I'm happy for Kit Wilson as well because like he is went from pretty much being written off of TV with Pretty
Hmm.
Deadly to reinventing himself, and he had his big, you know, your 5 minutes of fame.
Yes.
What do you do after that? And to continue to build off of that to get a PLE spot is very impressive. And like I was saying about the Miz, this dude has never once complained about his spot. He's a two-time Grand Slam champion, and
Hmm.
he's willing, and it's because he's willing to do stuff like this. I will never. Me and Brian were talking about it at work, guys. Who's Danhausen's mystery partner? We were throwing out
Yeah.
Joanne. I brought up Obafemi. Never expect anything relatively serious with Danhausen from now on. Like I thought that
Yep.
he was gonna roll out like Obafemi.
Yep.
I thought, Brian brought up maybe our truth because that'd be comedy gold. Nope, we got Minihausen. And you want to know what? I'm such a tool sometimes, guys. It worked for me.
Yeah.
It just did. And it was so stupid. But I think it's because I have, you know, I've been with Brian doing this and we've watched some retro rewatches where some crazy will happen,
Yes.
like the
I,
gobbledygooker, right?
what I was gonna say. Yeah.
You know, and I'm just so used to sometimes now, like seeing crazy shit and being like, I love it. Like I loved the gobbledygooker. It was
Yep.
probably the worst part of that show, but you want to know what? I loved it, and I loved Minniehausen. And you want to know what? Minniehausen kind of balled out in the ring
Oh,
too. Like he could kind of work
yeah.
too.
El Torito.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah.
So El Torito is a classic. If you haven't watched El Torito versus Hornswoggle in WLC, go watch it after this video. An instant classic, guys. So it's awesome that they brought him back for this spot. My favorite part of this whole match is when Kit Wilson throws Minniehausen back
Yeah.
into the machine that multiplies, and just a army of mini Minniehausens come out to attack. And Brian, I at the beginning of this match, when I saw it was Minniehausen, I was like, this is kind of stupid. I don't know how much I love this. I'm not gonna. This could be a thumbs down, and I'm not gonna watch this match. Brian, this match is a thumbs up, and
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah.
watch this match again.
Hell yeah.
And I'm done doubting Danhausen. He is the best comedy gimmick that WWE has had since a prime R Truth. and it's not even relatively close. Like
No.
Danhausen is so good. He's probably my favorite thing in professional wrestling right now. So big Fanhausen right here. Brian, I know you're going to share a lot of the same sentiment that I did because you are also a big Fanhausen. But how about you take it away with your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I am a huge fan housing. I'm a horror movie fan. You guys can go over to the Realm Paranormal podcast, TRPD podcast. Go over there, look at some of our horror movie reviews. Uh, we love that stuff. Uh, and go over to Realm on Film. We have Sinners on there. I'm going to cut this part because we're going to talk about it at the end, but the Realm shit's staying in because that's horror movie shit.
Oh yeah.
So, Danhausen's gimmick right away. I've already said it that if Netflix is smart, they're going to get the rights to a bunch of old B horror movies and do an Elvira type show and have Danhausen host it. Like that is people are going to watch that just to watch Danhausen. You know, a real Tales from the Crypt thing, but he's like the Crypt Keeper. Oh, this is gold. We have to do this. Oh boy, he has to curse somebody to get this done because I would watch the hell out of it. Uh, yeah, my first thought was Obafemi because you could have Rulerhausen come out. This could be a very quick match. I'm looking at the rundown and I'm going, okay, well, this match probably isn't going to be a super long match. So Obafemi made sense. It gets him on the show. It has him be a monster again. We all get a good laugh. And then I go, but our truth would be really funny if Danhausen really wants to get like John Cena as his partner because John Cena shook his hand. Um, and instead of John Cena, he winds up with John Cena's little brother in our truth. It would have been funny. It would have been great for our truth to be doing his thing and Danhausen to play the straight man in the comedy routine instead of being the goofy one for once. It would have been very funny to have Danhausen be like, "Oh, this guy is crazy Hausen." Like that would have been really funny. But they didn't do it, and that's fine. So when he has Minihausen come out, I thought the same thing. I go, that's a little bit disappointing. Then the bell rang, and I went, "This is good. This is a good, entertaining match with entertaining people in it." When Danhausen gets the hot tag and he comes in, the crowd pops. It Danhausen has been doing exactly what he needs to do to get over and stay over because there's that spot after he gets in after the hot tag and he's kind of getting worn down and the crowd starts getting into it and it kind of powers him back up, you know, like he's the Undertaker with the urn. Um, Little things like that that shows how much he understands this character is what makes it work so well. I'm not going to belabor any of that stuff with the match. The match is a big thumbs up, and I'm definitely going to watch this match again because Danhausen is great and it's so damn entertaining. But a couple of other thoughts that I have through this. One is Kip Wilson, as Danhausen will call him, is basically the genius repackaged with a little sprinkling of right to censor from the Attitude Era in there. He does his poetry just like the genius would do. If you guys don't know who the genius is, he's Lanny Poffo. He's Randy Macho Man Savage's real life brother. If you guys are listening to us, you probably do know who he is because you probably listen to his stuff. But go check him out. Just go on YouTube and check out the genius, and you'll see the connection that I'm making between Kip and the genius. But here's the better one that I realized. Danhausen is the perfected version of Papa Shango. Papa Shango, when he came in, is another mystical voodoo character who's going to curse you. He did curses. Papa Shango literally did curses that I can't remember. I think it was like a referee like had black stuff come out of his arm. I think it happened to like Mean Gene. He had black stuff like pour out of his sleeve. So they were trying to do this cursing thing then, and it never worked because they played it too straight. They were too serious about it. Danhausen is Papa Shango perfected. We always know it's a little bit well, very nice and very evil. There's going to be a lot of comedy involved in it, but it's never taken too seriously. Danhausen has a match where some pyrotechnics go off, that distracts Kip, and Danhausen picks up the win. And then later on social media, somebody has a picture of him handing money to the tech crew who set off the pyrotechnics. And you go, that's why it works. That's why it works. Because he has a cloning machine, and you go, well, it's not really a cloning machine. And you go, well, of course it's not a cloning machine. He's not really mystical. But then he curses the Mets and they can't win a game. And you go, well, how does that work? How does that happen? It just works out great that way. But they never take it too seriously, and that's why it's so good, and that's why Danhausen is the new, improved, perfected version of Papa Shango. You go, Danhausen.
Amen. You couldn't put it better than that
Yeah.
right there. That was Danhausen Papa Shango Wrestling Matrix right
Oh
there.
yeah.
That is
Yeah.
where it's at.
The Matrix
Brian,
Hosen.
let's talk about our next match. In my opinion, match of the night here. If you like strong style wrestling, you are going to like Io Sky versus Asuka. This is a technical masterpiece, top to bottom. This is probably, honestly, this was probably better than any women's match we got at WrestleMania, which is a shame because, guys, WWE, if you give your time instead of ads to the
Yeah.
wrestlers and give them time to wrestle, you get stuff like this. This is feels like the biggest, you know, pet peeve we had with WrestleMania, and they fixed it at Backlash. They really gave time to the wrestlers to actually go out there and put on a performance. I mean, shit, that match we had earlier with Danhausen and Minihausen, that was a long match. Like I thought that was going to be
Yeah.
all in 3 minutes,
Yep.
and they gave them time. They gave Io Sky versus Asuka time, and Io Sky is able to pick up the win on Asuka. This is, fans are speculating after the send off where Asuka hugs Io at the end of the match, and then there's another segment on the following Raw where Asuka gives Io another hug and says, "See you soon." That this is Asuka's last match in WWE. If that's the case, that is a damn shame because it felt like we could have,
Hmm.
you know, had a moment for her at WrestleMania. You also probably could have gave her a WrestleMania win with her 0-7 WrestleMania career record. It is a damn shame. Asuka is one of the most underrated professional wrestlers of all time. And although, you know, Brian, you might have not seen the peak of Asuka, she is truly one of the greatest NXT women's champions of all time. And I'm sure you can see glimpses
Yeah.
of that in this match. Thumbs up for sure. And if it is Asuka's last match, yes, I will go back and rewatch it. If not, you want to? I'll still go back and rewatch it because it's a banger. It is.
Attaboy.
Brian, what are your thoughts?
So for me, I like Asuka. Asuka is one of the people that I did kind of know about before I got back into wrestling. For some reason, I would see a lot of Asuka, and I kind of knew a little bit about her and knew that she was special and that she could work. And that's true. So I was so happy that when she did come back, once I started watching again, I got to see that and see what a great worker she is and how good she is at telling stories and how good she is even when she's in this role as a heel that she's been in, how good she's been just being evil. It's really good stuff. So I thought it was a great match. At the end, with them reconciling, it sucks that Kyrie wasn't part of this because that story has been going on for so long. But I felt like it was a good end to their story. So good, as a matter of fact, that's the story I wanted with heel John Cena last year that I kept talking about. What they just did with Io Sky and Asuka should have been John Cena and Cody, is what that should have been. It should
Yeah.
have been a heel turn for John Cena at WrestleMania. And then when we get to SummerSlam or whatever John Cena's last pay per view was, his Saturday night's main event or whatever, we have this moment with Cody and John Cena is back and everything is okay. So that being said, with everything in this match, I give this match a big thumbs up, and I am going to watch this match again. I thought it was a great match.
Now, I know what you guys are thinking. There is a segment between this match and the main event, but hold your horses. We're going to talk about that in a separate video.
Yeah.
So y'all just wait on that John Cena tournament talk. We'll get to it very soon. But moving on to our main event, Roman Reigns, the champion, the world heavyweight champion, which feels just weird to say. I always think he's the undisputed champion. When I think of that title,
Yeah.
I think of him. So for him to be the world heavyweight champion is a little weird, facing the challenger, Jacob Fatu. And this match, I think, you know, there's a lot of discourse around Roman Reigns and his in-ring work. Recently, I've seen a lot of talk on TikTok about ranking the three members of the Shield.
Mm.
And, Roman's always at the bottom, right? They always have John Moxley or Seth Rollins at the top. I'm quite the opposite. I do think Roman is number one, and it's for reasons like this. Is this the greatest professional wrestling match? No, it's not. It's good, and these two have great chemistry together. I can get why we've been kind of waiting on this match
Hmm.
for so long. But the in-ring storytelling is always a leap from Roman Reigns. Jacob Fatu felt unstoppable in this match, and Roman sells for him so well.
Hmm.
There was a moment where he leapfrogs and he hits him with an uppercut, and Jacob just doesn't move, and Roman's facial expressions sell it so well. There was another moment in this match where he hits him with the Superman punch, goes for the pin. It's a one.
Yeah.
And Roman's facial expressions really put over Jacob Fatu. And I know we didn't, when I was naming those four guys earlier, Jacob Fatu is right up there with the future of the company. He is
Yep.
that good. And I really think Roman did a good job of elevating Jacob, even though he was the one that got the win. And that was my biggest takeaway from this match. So I think this match is obviously part of the story. It's a bump in the road, right? This
Yep.
feud's not over. We saw it on the latest edition of Monday Night Raw, and I feel like this match does a good job of showing you what a hurdle Jacob Fatu is going to be for Roman Reigns to get over if he's going to make it to SummerSlam as the champion. So, for that being said, I give this match a thumbs up. I think it was a good match. I think there was plenty. It was
Hmm.
a bit of a spot fest. You had a lot of moments outside of the ring that were really good. And you want to know what? Am I going to watch it again? This is so tough, Brian. You
Ooh.
you take it away that middle thumb for
Yep.
me is
Yeah.
tough,
No middle thumb.
but you do have to make a decision. And at the end of the day, I'm probably going to go thumbs down. To be quite
Ooh.
honest with you,
Not gonna watch it again.
I don't,
Okay.
unless it is part of a bigger story that is very important. Like if this is the match, like let's say we go to Clash in Paris and Jacob Fatu defeats Roman Reigns. Yes, I'll watch this match
Hmm.
again. 100%. I don't believe that's gonna happen, and I feel like, we get so many PLEs all the
Yeah.
time. So I was gonna say, probably in like 2 weeks, we're gonna be talking about the same match again with a different stipulation on it, and I'm gonna be like, it's a great match, and I'm gonna watch it again. So just so I have some have some different takes, I am gonna say I would not watch this match again.
Okay.
Brian, take us through this match.
That's surprising, Will.
I know.
I'm surprised
I know.
by that. But I'm surprising myself with my thumbs up and thumbs down in this one too. So it's not a bad thing. I thought that this was a really good match. It's interesting that it feels like the bookers didn't know who was going to be the face and who was going to be the heel in this
Yeah,
thing when they started it a few weeks ago. Because right away from the beginning, it seemed like we're keeping Roman heel and Jacob is going to work as babyface. He comes out, he cuts that promo about, I'm doing this for my family. I ain't doing this for you. You're not part of my family. You didn't want me here. I'm doing it for my family. I'm gonna get them into a better school. I'm gonna be flying on the planes. He's saying all the things that a face would say. Uh, then you did all this work reintroducing the bloodline that we talked about, and or the first family that Roman is calling them now, which I go, okay, that makes more sense now after this match. They're kind of taking the bloodline was the heel version of that. The first family is going to be the face version of that faction. They'll do a story of redemption and legacy and looking back with positive intentions because of their lineage, not what happened before. So I get that new moniker, call them the first family. Uh, but it was weird because as this thing has progressed, Jacob has gotten more and more heelish. And up until this match, it wasn't crystal clear to me. Maybe I'm a little bit behind the curve on that. But after this match, I went, okay, Jacob is our heel. It looked like that's what they were ramping up to, but it was still hard to tell. And I feel like the fans were undecided too until after this match. Um, so it was just a weird observation that I wonder, did the bookers, were they just not sure what they wanted to do? Were they waiting to see what the fan response was going to be before they made that decision? I don't know. And I don't care anymore because I like the direction that they're going in. I think having Roman be the face, turning Jacob heel, I think is a great idea. Um, in the match itself, this match I think has gotten me to be a fan of Roman Reigns because I haven't been. There has been no reason for me to. He's not
Mhm.
there, and when he does show up, he's a douchey heel. So I haven't had a reason to. I don't have any history. This match is what sold me. Um, he told a story in that match. Going into it, we know that the tongue and death grip is going to be used. We know that that's Jacob's thing. He's taking it from the great Haku, as Vince would call him. Uh, so we know that he has the tongue and death grip. So Roman starts working that arm and that hand early in the match, trying to take that weapon out of Jacob's arsenal. So that's good storytelling. And as you pointed out, Roman was so great working from behind in this match. It's what gets me on his side because
Mhm.
he he was believable in this match, and because of that, he sold Jacob. I have the same note as you. Unstoppable is the word that I wrote. He made Jacob feel unstoppable. He made him feel like an absolute monster that you're not going to be able to take down. Jacob feels more dangerous now than he did before with the tongue and death grip. The whole thing, for some reason, just gives me a big blast of retro nostalgia. I don't know if it's because it just makes me think of Haku and it makes me think of the head shrinkers and the wild Samoans. It makes me think of some of this older retro
Yeah.
stuff. And I always liked Haku, so maybe just having Jacob embody that a little bit more is what's giving me the feels. But I think it's really good. I think it's one of those stories that if it was 1990, this would be a feud that was going on then. And I'm going to give the match a thumbs up. And I am going to watch this match again.
Oh,
Another thumbs up for watching it again. And I'll tell you the reason why, Will, because we don't know where this is going to go. I have another note that just says, where are they going to go for WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia with this story? Because let's call a spade a spade. We know what they want. They want Rock and Roman, I'm sure is what they want. Are
yeah.
they going to get that? Who knows? So we don't know exactly where this blow off match with Jacob and Roman is, but it gives me all the vibes of WrestleMania 6 when they had those great intro packages to tell us about the build up to the match and we would see all those clips. If we had that same thing with Roman and Jacob, I go, this would be like one of those first clips that we're going to see of how this thing is starting. And I go, that's really fun for me to think about that because I think you pointed out on that retro rewatch that that was one of your favorite things is that
Yeah.
they had those little video packages catching you up and just the way that they did it. this felt like that. It felt like back in the day when the Undertaker first arrives and he's a monster and you can't stop him, or who else? Earthquake. All these guys that come in who are unstoppable. Um, it just gives me that vibe, and I'm really digging it. I really like that. Uh, let's see. Roman working great from behind. Saudi Arabia. Bookers weren't didn't know what was going on. Let's see. Roman working on the hand, no Tongan death grip. Yeah, I said thumbs up. I'd watch this match again. I love everything that they did. They're building up this story, and I'm actually excited for it. The
Oh,
bookers and the writers have given the Etch a Sketch a big shake after WrestleMania, and they're trying to reset the chessboard with these new storylines and try to get something that makes sense. And they're trying, we can feel it. And I think that this is a good one. The fans are responding to it, and Jacob just looks like a monster right now, and it's compelling. It is compelling to see Roman struggle in the ring against somebody like Jacob. That's a good story to tell. I'm happy they're doing it.
all right, Brian. Moment of truth.
All right, well, the final tally is in. So, with our official thumbs up, and if we'd watch it again or not. Will, your final tally, four thumbs up, one thumbs down. So, you give this backlash a big thumbs up, and you have three thumbs up to watch it again, and only two thumbs down not to watch it again. So, Will says this thing is a thumbs up, and he'd watch it again. And as for Paul Roma right here, I surprised myself. I have same score as Will. Four thumbs up and one thumbs
Wow.
down. So I'm giving this pay-per-view a thumbs up. And here's the part that I really surprised myself. I actually have given three thumbs up to watch it again and only two down. So same as
Hey,
Will. I'm giving this a thumbs up and I'd watch this pay-per-view again. Good job, WWE. You guys did it. You pulled up from a little bit of a nosedive at WrestleMania. You had a good night too and a good pay-per-view here. We're going in the right direction. Just keep
we're
Danhausen on the show.
we're ticking up here, aren't
Yeah.
we? We are on a little bit
Yep.
of an uptick here in professional wrestling. That's the perfect reason to like our videos and subscribe. And, you know, me and Brian, we're feeling in unison right now. The
It's
same,
true.
are you guys kidding me? Same score. That's
Yeah.
why we are the Hercules and Paul Roma, the power
Yep.
and glory of the professional wrestling podcast game.
You know what
God,
that is right there, Will? With those matching scores?
what?
That's like the powerplex, man. That's like Hercules going up to that turnbuckle, dropping
Perfect,
that suplex, and Paul Roma
perfect.
coming off with that big splash. That right there, man. That is a powerplex if I ever saw one.
Guys, I can't leave you with anything better than that. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate all the new followers.
Yep.
If you haven't, go check out all of our old videos. Brian, do you have anything else from the Realm family?
Yeah, everybody go over, click the link down below, go over to the Realm Paranormal Detectives podcast. We're talking about paranormal stuff. It's a lot of fun. I'm sure a lot of you have already been there. A lot of you have probably come over from there. But tell your friends, tell them to go check it out because we got some good stuff coming up on there. We're going to actually this Sunday we're going to be talking about interstellar objects, which we already had on the schedule before all this UFO disclosure stuff. So this will be fun. Uh, and then our newest member of the Realm family, Realm on Film podcast. You guys can click that link down below too. Head over there. That's me, Rich, and Rob from the Realm Paranormal side, and we're doing movie reviews. We have our review of Sinners up. It's a lot of fun. Um, if you guys go over to Realm on Film, those videos, you do got to be over 18 to watch those. We have bad language in there. But if you still want to know our thoughts on our movies that we're reviewing, go over to Realm on Film, go to the shorts section, and each movie review, we're going to have a short from each one of the hosts, and we're going to be giving a family friendly version of our review. So you'll still get all that information. It'll still be a lot of fun. Go check that out. Oh, and we have a phone number. Holy cow. Will, did you know we have a phone number?
I do know we have a phone number.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to know that too.
No, that's all right.
Yeah,
I
everybody,
almost forgot about it too.
that's true. Yep, guys, we have a phone number too. If you guys call or text 1-414-600-7049, you guys can leave a message or a text for any one of the Realm podcasts. You have us, Wrestling with the Realm. We have the Realm Paranormal Detectives podcast or Realm on Film. If you guys have any thoughts, suggestions, comments, you want to go on there and let us know if you give this pay-per-view a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We'd love to know it. We like you guys being involved. Wrestling with the Realm is growing, and we want you guys to be a part of that.
Guys, I have nothing really important to leave you guys with. But if you haven't gone and checked out the Powerplex, go do that. Best professional wrestling tag team finisher I've ever seen. And
Hell
until
yeah.
next time, guys, see ya.
See you later. Creamy coconut Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
Ooh, I had it. It's
You
fire.
had it?
Yeah.
It's good.
I like your zoom at Backlash. That made me laugh.
Yeah. At Backlash. At Backlash. Oh, is that what the E stands for in AEW?
All Elite Wrestling.
So Ricochet is elite? Brother Will and I would yeah, I botched that. I started this part. But Jim Cornette says objectively crazy and then is like, God, you think that Bruce looks trustworthy and honest on any of those documentaries he's on? You think people look at him? No. You know, the office needs to realize people don't think he's honest. Look at, oh, he's making up stories and giving their version. It's like, yeah, okay, but you say crazy corny and Bruce Pritchard adopted a pit bull. So who am I siding with here? It was a pretty easy one.